The World Series was one sleep away. We are breaking down the 26-man roster. The Toronto Blue Jays have revealed who their starter is for Game 1. Why going with Yasavage in Game 1 could have a big impact down the line. Why it was an interesting move by Snyder. Also, we're going to hear from Shohei Ohtani, Dave Roberts, Freddy Freeman, Mookie Betts, and a move that the Dodgers could make that could shake things up a little heading into the World Series. Also, we have some news about Alex Vesia that we will get into as well. All that more coming up next on Dodgers Dugout Live.
It's time for Dodger baseball. Welcome to Dodger Stadium.
This is the golden age of Dodger baseball. The Dodgers are building a dynasty.
You got it, Roy, the parade. We got a parade. The Dodgers punch back and head to the championship series. Ohtani starts the 50-50 club. Mookie magic. Freeman hits the ball to right field. She is gone. Start the party, Los Angeles. Your Dodgers have won the World Series.
Think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out. What is up, Dodgers Nation, and welcome to another episode of Dodgers Dugout Live. A little Dodgers Dugout Live after dark to get you ready for the World Series. I know it's going to be difficult for you to sleep tonight. It's not going to be easy. You got to leave some carrots out for the baseball reindeers because tomorrow is baseball Christmas. The World Series begins tomorrow. Blake Snell on the bump for the Dodgers. We'll hear from Snellzilla in a minute here. We're also going to bring in my guy, Jeff Snyder, a Dodgers expert. We'll get his thoughts on the series and what this could mean for the roster. Could you change things up with the rotation? We'll talk about that because Dave Roberts also said you're going to see Tyler Glasnow and Shohei Ohtani in very similar roles that you've seen in this postseason. So we're going to talk about that. Also, ranking the best players in this series. How many of the top guys of the Dodgers have? We'll get into that. So much to get into, so settle in. A super episode of Dodgers Dugout Live, the #1 Dodgers podcast and daily Dodgers show on YouTube. My name is Doug McKain. I cover the Dodgers for Dodgers Nation. You can follow me on X and Instagram at DMAC_LA. I'm a credentialed member of the media. And also, join our Discord channel. Go to gearup.la to get all of our latest merch, all our T-shirts, some awesome shirts over there. So definitely go pick those up. And this show is also sponsored by the LA Sports Report. It's my newest show, my newest channel about all things LA sports from the Dodgers, the Lakers, the Chargers, the Rams, USC, UCLA. If it's LA sports, we're talking about over there. Also, lots of Dodgers talk and interviews with former Dodgers players. I have Yasiel Puig in studio tomorrow. That should be very exciting. Cannot wait to meet up and catch up and talk about ball with one of my favorites, Yasiel Puig. So definitely go to the LA Sports Report to subscribe to that. Also, the Discord channel. Thousands of Dodgers fans talking about DMAC the GOAT. You the GOAT. All you guys are the GOATs. DMAC, you're the man. You're the man. Right back at you. I love all you guys. You guys make this show and this channel what it is. I mean, really. So cannot thank you guys enough. We are partners in this, and I could not do the show without you. So it's very important that, you guys are in the comments and always rocking with us. So, yeah, awesome. Definitely we'll get into the chat a little bit because I want to hear from you guys, get all your takes the night before the World Series begins. And there's a lot of Dodger baseball to get into. Got a lot of sound we're going to get into. We're going to hear from Dave Roberts, hear from a bunch of the players. But lots of Dodger baseball to get into. So let's get right into it.
Leading off, the hottest story in Dodger baseball.
So the big story right now in Dodger baseball is earlier today, the Dodgers released a statement. The Dodgers released a statement that read, "It's with a heavy heart that we share that Alex Vesia is away from the team as he and his wife Kayla navigate a deeply personal family matter. The entire Dodgers organization is sending our thoughts to the Vesia family, and we will provide an update at a later date. So today was media day in Toronto. All the players, for the most part, interacted with the media. So did Dave Roberts. But this feels like a story that, of course, is bigger than baseball. And yes, Dodgers Nation, yes, my friends out there, there are some things that are bigger than baseball. And anytime you hear a statement from an organization and that statement includes the words heavy heart, that definitely feels like a heavy and serious situation. And whatever it is, I'm not going to sit here and speculate on anything. I'm not going to do that at all. But whatever it is, our thoughts, our prayers are with Alex Vesia, his wife, and their entire family, because they're part of our family. They're part of your Dodgers family. And you spend as much time with the Dodgers as you do with your family, I'm guessing, if you're watching this show at 10:24 at night, the night before the World Series. So Alex Vesia is a part of your family, and you got to send those thoughts, send those prayers, and keep them in them, because whatever it is he's dealing with, for the Dodgers to release a statement like that the day before the World Series, and for him not to be with the team before the World Series, because no one loves being a Dodger more than Alex Vesia, you know that it is something that is serious. And I will say, I've gotten the privilege to get to know Alex Vesia over the last couple of seasons. I've interviewed him tons of different times, on camera, off camera. I've talked to him almost as much as on camera. And probably one of my favorite stories from this past regular season, where it feels like every year I just do more with the Dodgers, whether it's more games, more road trips, more interviews. The access just continues to grow with the team. I was leaving Oracle Park after a road game, and Alex Vesia was leaving at the same time. And there were some fans saying, D-Mac, da-da-da. There were some fans saying, Alex, da-da-da. And then I was like, Alex, don't worry, man. I'll be your bodyguard. He's like, I was like, where are you going? He's like, yeah, I'm going to go meet up with some friends. And he was like, yeah, man, can you walk with me? And like, cool. So we get to walk in, and I probably walked with him in the streets of San Francisco for upwards of close to an hour. And it was me and Alex Vesia walking the streets of San Francisco. And being the inquisitive baseball mind that I am, I unloaded on every single question I had when it came to baseball and just every single minute detail about being a bullpen guy, and just kind of the things that you learn in this organization as far as attacking hitters. And there was a sequence with him and Rafael Devers the day before that, just kind of getting the breakdown that. And he's just a fun guy to talk to, because he's an extremely intelligent person. He really is. And he knows the game. He knows pitching. I remember him telling me that, hey, I took basically like a week off in the offseason, and then I was back in the weight room putting in work. And yeah, I mean, he couldn't be nicer. He couldn't be friendlier. I've seen him interact with media members and coaches when the cameras aren't on, and that's when you really get to see who a player really is. And one thing that Alex Vesia will do that always kind of puts a smile on my face is if he's one of those guys, I don't even know what you call this, but you know when you're talking to someone and all of a sudden you feel a tap, and you look back and no one's there, and you look around and then you find the person, they're smiling. That's what Alex Vesia does. And he did that to me a couple of times this year in the clubhouse. I feel a tap, I'm looking, no one's there, and then boom, there's Alex Vesia smiling. Like, that's the kind of vibes that he has. That's the kind of dude that he is. Just a fun-loving dude and a great dude, and we're going to wish him nothing but the best and keep him in our thoughts and prayers. Kirsten, she put on her Instagram story above the Dodgers statement, please keep the Vesias in your thoughts and prayers, a heart emoji. The Dodgers family loves you, Alex and Kayla, beyond measure. So definitely a very strong organization with great people. And we are going to not speculate. We're going to keep him in our thoughts. And as far as the rule, as far as his participation in this World Series, like I said, There's some things that are more important in baseball. This clearly is something that's more important, that is more important than baseball. But I also know why you guys tune into the show, and I see it in the comments already. What does this mean for his roster status for the remainder of the series? And the option the Dodgers do have with Vesia is they can keep him on that World Series roster potentially and have him on the family medical emergency list, where you have to remain on that list for a minimum of 3 days. And then after that, you can be placed back on the roster. So if it's game 1, 2, travel day, game 3, could be back game 4, 5, 6, 7. That would be the path to getting back on the roster. And then the other option too, as you know, Tanner Scott is an option. He threw a bullpen a couple of days ago. He said that he felt miserable after the abscess surgery, but things have started to feel better. Dave Roberts said that Tanner Scott would be an option. They just want to see how he was throwing and how he looked. So, of course, he's with the team. We'll see how he looks, and we'll wait for tomorrow's roster to kind of get word on that. But Tanner Scott could be an option. I mean, Tanner Scott is a lefty. The Blue Jays do not have, you got Barger, you got some lefties in there for sure, but they don't have this massive collection of left-handed hitters. That's not what they do, right? This is not like you're playing the Phillies with Schwarber and Bryce Harper and a lot of lefties that you're concerned about. So that's definitely where they're at as a unit. But still, I mean, the thing about Vesia is it's not that he's just a lefty matchup guy. He's a guy you can throw in a bunch of different situations, and especially when you have a power righty dominant rotation, that first guy out of the pen can be Alex Vesia, or you can use him in higher leverage situations later. And you're also going to just kind of miss that spark, that demeanor, that run through a brick wall type of vibe that he brings. And he's a leader out there too. So hopefully whatever happens with Alex Vesia, all we have to say is, thoughts and prayers. And we're thinking about you, Alex. And here was Tanner Scott today at the World Series Media Day talking about just kind of his situation, what he went through, and making it to the World Series.
Sure. I mean, when I signed, I wanted to win, and we're in the World Series, so it's pretty fun. I mean, I feel good, and the time in Philly was kind of miserable, but I'm healthy now, and just see where it takes me. It's a small family inside of a big family, and for everyone to be successful it's really fun to watch and see, and you always cheer on your family members. Different from last year, I mean, on the other side, you see them as a really good team, then you join them and you still see a really good team. And I mean, our lineup's unreal. Our starting staff is insane. Our bullpen's good, and it's fun to be a part of every game, because even if we're down, you're never out of it. So it's fun.
So that was Tanner Scott, and clearly he's in better spirits. He's there for a reason. So we'll see if ultimately he does make this roster. And there was a world where he could have made this roster either way, just because, I mean, he's the guy you paid big money in the offseason to go out there and get. Of course, he has struggled. He led the league in blown saves. He really hasn't been a factor at all this postseason. But there was a world where he could have gotten back in that mix, because, of course, Dave Roberts said a few days ago that there's, quote, one spot on the Dodgers World Series roster that's up for debate, but the rest, it looked like it was going to be intact. And we've talked about this last couple of days. We'll run through it really quick. Again, position player side, the Dodgers, catchers, Will Smith, Ben Rortvedt, infielders for Freddy Freeman, Mookie Betts, Max Muncy, Miguel Rojas, outfielders for Andy Pages, Teoscar Hernandez, Alex Call, and Justin Dean. I have seen some people suggest having Michael Conforto back on the roster. I'm not saying I don't want him on the roster because of the off chance he'd win World Series MVP. That would mean that I would have to get a lower back tattoo saying Conforto and the number 23 on it. But here's the thing. Even though you have a ton of righties, even though you got Savage and Gausman and Bieber and Scherzer, and you don't have dominant righties out of the pen, I mean, their closer, Hoffman and Louis Varland as their best high leverage guy, it just because there's a lot of righties, the truth is, with Michael Conforto, it's not like he was a guy that, I can crush righties. He was bad against both sides for most of this year. He's not someone that's a plus outfielder that you can use as a late-game substitution defensively, and he's not someone that's a plus pinch runner. So his only role would be to be a pinch hitter off the bench, and if that was going to be the case, I would prefer to have a Dalton Rushing, because if you're pinch hitting a situation, it could mean you need some slug, and Rushing, I think, provides the option of doing that more than Michael Conforto, and the odds are probably both guys don't make it, but I would take Rushing over Conforto. But if the Dodgers think, hey, now's the time for Conforto, even though he hasn't hit big league pitching in a month, I mean, does that sound like a good idea? I don't think it is, especially when this team is rolling in the postseason. So I still think, yes, even though Alex Call's going to have a minimal role, and even though he's better against lefties than he is righties, he also has defensive substitution ability, pinch running ability, and is a grinded-out style of at-bat that I think can, put the ball in play, could draw a walk in a big spot. I would take that over Michael Conforto right now. I'd be surprised if they kept Call off the roster just to add another pitcher, and I hope they don't do that. Utility guys, you got 3, Tommy Edman, Kike Hernandez, and Haesung Kim. Of course, Haesung Kim, his job, pinch run if you get an option. Outside of that, you're not going to see him as a defensive substitution or a pinch hitter. And then there is the unicorn. That is the two-way, the DH. That is Shohei Ohtani. So the other options are just because of handedness that you would see a Rushing or Conforto. I don't expect that to be the case. Now, pitchers, you got the starters, of course, Blake Snell, Yamamoto, Tyler Glasnow, and Shohei Ohtani. Then the question comes down to the bullpen. So the bullpen, Blake Treinen, lock. Roki Sasaki, lock. Alex Vesia would have 100% been a lock. The question will be, do they place him on the family emergency, the bereavement list, or do they leave him off the roster and put someone like a Tanner Scott on the roster and leave a Justin Robleski as well, another lefty? That's a possibility as well. Or do you move someone else off and put a Will Kleiner, Edgardo Henriquez on the roster because you got Vladimir Guerrero Jr., George Springer, and now Bo Bichette back in the lineup, or just as an option, even if it's the pinch hitter or DH situation in some capacity? So the bullpen, yesterday, I had 4 starters along with 9 bullpen guys. So that would put you at 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So 13 in the 9 bullpen guys would have been Blake Treinen, Alex Vesia, Jack Dreyer, Anthony Bonda, Emmet Sheehan, Roki Sasaki, Clayton Kershaw, Justin Robleski, and Ben Kasparius. But the options would be leave Call off and then put Tanner Scott on in Alex Vesia's spot, and then add a Will Klein, and then that keeps you at the 13. But now the whole Alex Vesia situation, it throws a wrench into this as a possibility. But I think that, I don't want to speculate, so I just don't. But if he does stay on the roster, I still think you are going to see one of Will Klein, Edgardo Henriquez, and the long shot will be Kyle Hurt. I think because of Edgardo Henriquez, he did get the experience in the wild card round, and he did pitch in the postseason last year. Maybe they like that, but they didn't like how he performed against the Reds. Maybe they do go with Will Klein. And if it were me, I'd go with Will Klein. They might go with Edgardo Henriquez, but it's going to be either Will Klein or Edgardo Henriquez will be in this bullpen with this group. So let me know down below what your thoughts on where the bullpen is. What move would you make? And now we're going to hear from Dave Roberts, who addressed the situation with Alex Vesia, and he also discussed the Dodgers pitching plan for later in this series.
Dave, the Dodgers just announced that Alex Vesia is away from the team with his wife, Kayla. Just keeping the focus on the World Series in baseball, what does this mean for the bullpen and for the roster, and how you guys can find a way to replace someone just who's been so valuable for the group right now?
Yeah, you know what? I think right now we're in the mode of trying to, understand the process, the rules, a way that we could sort of, try to navigate the roster. So I think we have a little bit of time. I think 10 o'clock tomorrow or something like that, finalize our roster, but yeah, we're going through the process of trying to backfill his spot on the roster.
Any questions for Dave? Go to Jack on your left.
So just to clarify that, are you anticipating he won't be available this series, or is there a way that maybe if it's like a bereavement situation or something like that, you could add him later?
You know what, honestly, Jack, I think we're just going day to day with really no expectations.
Go to Alden over there. Oh, Kevin.
Dave, with you guys having been here before and having a lot of veterans players on the team, and the Blue Jays, most of their guys seem kind of, really excited just to be here. Is there an advantage one way or the other? I mean, to them it's all new and they're very excited about it. To you guys, it's a big deal, but you've been here before. Is there an advantage to the experience versus the newness?
First off, we're very excited to be here as well. I think that some part of it you could argue that the naivete, the inexperience is a good thing, but I feel that the ability to manage moments, your heartbeat, is advantageous and understand, especially in a 7-game series. So I think that we're equipped to play well, and we're facing a very good ball club. But yeah, I like the experience, but also like the enthusiasm that those guys have, and we have some of those guys too.
Third row to your left, Sonia.
Hey Dave, saw that you were having kind of a long conversation with Andy Pajes the other day back in LA. What were you talking with him about, and are you kind of seeing him making the adjustments he needs to ahead of this series?
Yeah, we were just talking about some approach stuff at the bat. I think he's valuable in the sense of having his center field defense, and I just see him getting some big hits for us and trying to continue to look forward and free him up mentally. And that's just kind of a lot of the thought behind me having a chat and just letting him know I'm supporting him and I still believe in him. And that's kind of the genesis.
At the beginning of the season, there was kind of a similar situation. Do you think maybe with a guy like him where he's at, this layoff could almost help him free himself up, like you said?
I think so. I think so. With young players, confidence is something that you've always got to keep an eye on, and it can go awry pretty quickly if they're not having success. And so I just wanted to make sure that to keep him in a good headspace. But yeah, to be able to, not have to get hits and take some time to have some lives, not have to look at the scoreboard and feel better about your swing. I think there's some good for that, for Andy for sure.
Second row up front, Barry.
Hey, Doc. What do you expect to get from Kershaw in this series? Would you like to get him in there to get him one more appearance before the end of his career? I know this is strategic, it's not sentimental, but what's your thoughts on it?
I would love to get Clayton in there at some point, but I'm going to pitch the best players I feel are the best in that particular moment. And so if it happens, that'd be great.
But he's going to be on the roster again, right?
He's on the roster, yes.
Okay, thanks.
Third row to your left, Fabian.
Yeah, Dave, how different of a World Series do you think this will be for Shohei, especially considering how early in last year's series he got injured?
I hope it's completely different for Shohei. Certainly having him healthy going in is a great thing. I think him kind of feeding off that last game is a good thing. Last year it was just more of just being able to post and stand in the batter's box and do whatever he could to sort of help us. Where I think this year he's equipped to have a big series, and he's just going to have to be smart and disciplined because they're going to pitch him careful, and he's just got to be smart. And if he's disciplined, then it should bode well for him and for all of us.
In that series last year, and even during when he was struggling earlier this year, like in the postseason, like how much did you sort of feel other teams feeling his presence in the box, even if he's not swinging or if he's not 100% offensively?
You feel Shohei when he's in the hole, let alone on deck or in the batter's box. You feel it. He's always looming, and it certainly, whether he's swinging the bat well or not, he has the ability to impact the game. So you feel it.
Fourth row on your left, Tyler.
Dave, you obviously have had great pitching from your starters. How challenging was it, I guess, to make sure all those guys would be at optimal strength, on October 1st with given their histories and, knowing that you probably weren't going to get 33 starts out of all 4 of those guys?
I don't think it was challenging, Tyler, but it wasn't difficult because I think, that was the goal of the organization, the coaches, front office, myself, to how do we get these guys to be at optimal performance, towards the end of the season. And so then the question is, how do you get there? And so redlining those.
battle. I'm curious if you see your team as the Goliath in this.
Or David. I mean, hey, they're from the East, and that's the AL East. Yeah, you know what? We got really good players. They got really good players. So the great thing about baseball is anything can happen. This is it's going to be a great series. These guys are on a high right now. So we're expecting a battle. And so we certainly don't see it that way.
Second row on your left, Dave.
Hi, Dave. As a player, you share the clubhouse with really great players, and you also face good pitchers. As a manager, you have managed really great pitchers, and you have faced really great pitchers. Saying that, do you think that the one you have is the best rotation you have seen in your MLB career?
Yeah, I think for me as a player coach, it's the best that rotation I've been a part of. But when you're talking about the Braves in the '90s, you're talking about Hall of Famers, and so we still got some work to do. But I'm really. It's really good having healthy starters, and like I've said all along, it's just the goal is to let your best pitchers, take down the most outs, and because they're throwing the baseball the way they are, it kind of sets everything else up.
2 people more to the left, Ron.
Do you anticipate staying with Glasnow for 3 and Ohtani for 4?
Haven't completely, landed on that one, but most likely.
Third row on your right, Dave.
Hi, Dave.
Hi, Jay.
I have 2 questions. One, do you still expect the same pitchers for this series? And 2, when you win the championship series, you mentioned that let's win 4 more wins and ruin the baseball. Do you feel like you became a villain?
Jay. What was the first question, Jay?
I mean, how many pitchers are going to bring this series?
Yeah, I think we're going to go the same kind of similar roster. Similar. There might be a couple little tweaks, Jay. I don't feel like I'm the villain. I was just poking fun at some people that said that the Dodgers were ruining baseball. Clearly, I don't believe that. I think that baseball is in a great place right now. Very great players, very exciting. Viewership is up. This is going to be a great World Series. So I was just having a little fun with people that said that about the Dodgers, but I hope I'm not the villain.
Do a couple more. Second row on your right, Dave.
Hi there. It's the World Series. You're in Toronto. Do you have any special memory in Canada?
I love Toronto. Toronto's a great city, great people. Canada's a great country. I remember being here with the Indians at the time, and having a good series and just playing the Blue Jays. And so played here when I was with the Dodgers. Stayed in the hotel room in center field one time, so that was fun. But yeah, I have nothing but fond memories. Yes.
Standing against the wall on your right, Doc.
Hi, Dave. At this point of the World Series, do you think you have a stronger team than the last year?
Yes, I do. I do. I think that Shohei is healthy, as we mentioned. The starting staff is in much better shape, and position player wise, we're healthy. So yeah, I do.
One or two last ones for Doc. All right, we'll finish up with Claudia. If we can just get her the microphone in the middle.
Hi, Dave. Do you expect your starting rotation go deep in this World Series?
I do. I do. I expect them to pitch well, yes.
All right, Dave, if you're a villain, you're a very friendly one, so thank you.
Thanks.
There he is, Dave Roberts, talking to the media. And they haven't confirmed you got Glasnow and Shohei going to games 3 and 4. I still think that they might have a conversation depending on how the first 2 games go, but clearly they are leaning in that direction. He also mentioned the pitching plan for the Blue Jays. So today we learned from Jeff Snyder, the manager of the Blue Jays, that they will be going with rookie right-handed pitcher Trey Yesavage to start game 1. So talk some Trey Yesavage here, because he's been one of the great stories really in Major League Baseball over the last month, because we know what they get from the Dodgers. You got Blake Snell going in game 1, and Blake Snell, he's getting up 2 runs in 21 innings with 28 strikeouts in his 3 postseason starts. He's been absolutely dominant. He faced the minimum through 8 innings in his last start in game 1 against the Brewers. A very different path for Trey Yesavage, who's still trying to make his mark in this league. He's just 22 years old, and it'll be his 7th Major League start. Imagine that. It'll be his 7th Major League start of his career. He was a first-round pick for the Blue Jays last year. He was their first-round pick last year out of East Carolina. He started the 2025 season for Class A Dunedin. So he goes from Class A all the way to the show, pitching in the Fall Classic. He made 3 starts in September for the Blue Jays, 3.21 ERA, and then all of a sudden in the postseason, he steps up into this role. And in the postseason, he's won 2 out of his last 3 starts, has had 22 strikeouts. I think the thing that stands out to me is the release point with Yesavage and the fact that he has the ability to strike guys out. He's had a 36% strikeout rate in 15 innings of work. Hasn't been elite. It hasn't been fantastic every time out there, but he's had some flashes. Overall, a 4.20 ERA. But against the Yankees, he looked like a superstar. He had 11 strikeouts in 5 1/3 innings, did not allow a hit against the Pinstripes. Then he lost game 2 of the ALCS against the Mariners, but he did win game 6 with 7 strikeouts, gave up 2 runs in 5 2/3 innings. So it's going to be really interesting. I mean, 1, the Dodgers have never faced him. 2, a guy with that kind of release point, it's going to take some adjusting to. So that's an interesting matchup early on. This would be a massive story for a guy in just his 7th big league start to shut down a lineup like the Los Angeles Dodgers with Shohei Ohtani, Mookie Betts, and Freddy Freeman, and the rest of this star-studded, all-star laden, future Hall of Famer, MVP level lineup. So more power to him. He's able to do it. I think the Dodgers, you do not want to be the victim of those strikeouts. You want to stay patient. You don't want to expand the zone. You want to attack pitches that you can drive. I think I want to see an aggressive Dodgers team when there's pitches to hit. I mean, sometimes we see they're so committed to working pitch counts up and taking good at-bats that you leave some cookies out over the plate that you can do damage to. I want this team to be aggressive and swing at pitches that they can drive. And then, hey, you don't expand the zone and chase when there's that. So you also look at the rest of this series for the Blue Jays. Schneider said today that likely in game 2, you're going to go with Kevin Gausman, but he also threw out it could be game 2 or game 3. Gausman did start game 1 and game 5 of the ALCS for the Blue Jays. He started last Friday in Seattle. Gausman also pitched a scoreless 7th inning in relief in Game 7 of the ALCS this past Monday. So I also think that a lot of people are saying out there, okay, the Dodgers haven't seen you, Savage, and it's going to be an issue for them. Well, what I said, what happened to the Mariners? Because the Mariners, they did not see him at all either, and they did some damage against him in Game 2 of the ALCS. He was better in Game 6. He absolutely was, but there was a lot of traffic on the base pass. You load the bases a couple different times. He benefited from those double play balls, the pitcher's best friend. In 2 of those innings, he had the bases loaded against him, and he got 2 double plays that really helped him. So it's going to be a lot of pressure on this guy. I mean, if you get base runners against him, a lot of pressure for him. It's the World Series, for crying out loud, against the Los Angeles Dodgers. So I think for Shohei and Freddy and these lefties to be ready to go after this guy. And I would love to see an early home run from Shohei. I would love to see an early bomb from Freddie or Max Muncy. And that's what I'm hoping for tomorrow. But I think if you're on the concerning side, it is the fact that he is a strikeout pitcher. You don't have any experience facing him live. You don't know how that breaking stuff plays. And you've missed a lot of time, too, with the 6-day layoff. So you have to work on that with the Traject machine like the Dodgers have. Do they even have him on the Traject machine, which is a machine that the Dodgers have that can simulate big league pitchers and specific ones? Other interesting thing, though, that I was thinking about when I was just doing the math in my head is Savage has not pitched on 4 days rest at the major league level at all. Regular season, postseason. So he's either going to have to do it for the first time in the World Series, or the Blue Jays are going to have to need a 5th starter. What's it going to be? So that's another interesting thing to look at. You got to feel like the Dodgers have the pitching advantage for Game 1 because you got Blake Snell. And here was Snellzilla talking to reporters today at Media Day.
Yeah, I was able to watch some games and really watch them. And, no, I mean, they've always been a good lineup. Bat to ball is good. So, yeah, I'm excited for the challenge.
Other questions? Got Russ on right up front.
Hey, Blake, you obviously pitched in a World Series before, but going into this one, how does the night before compare to maybe that first time?
Yeah, I mean, for me personally, it's just everything gets quiet and focused, and just start processing what you want to happen, what you're going to face, and just start, building from that.
Other questions? We'll go to Ron up on Blake's left.
For Toronto, Trey will be making his 7th ever big league start. I think your 7th start, you got your first ever road win at Coors Field. How unprepared do you think you would have been back then being thrown into a game like tomorrow's?
I don't know. I don't know his journey versus what my journey was to get to the big leagues. Maybe he's pitched in a lot of games that have prepared him for it. I mean, I know he's been doing good with the playoffs, had a really good game and a tough one and a decent one. So I don't know. There's just so much, he's facing a Dodgers lineup that's really good. How's he going to react to that? There's so many questions. And I don't know him personally, so I don't know like the makeup, but it's definitely a difficult task for him.
Just looking at yourself, how much more do you know about pitching in the major leagues now than you knew then?
Yeah, I was a baby. Yeah, I'm night and day different. Just experience is everything. It matters, and it's what makes pitchers really good. It's just time.
Thank you.
We'll stay in the same row. 2 over.
Hi, Blake. How much and in what aspects do you think you have improved since 2020?
2020? I would say just I've matured, I've grown up. I was kind of a kid still in 2020. To a man, family, wife. A lot's changed, yeah. And then with the game of baseball, just how I view it is a lot different. It's more personal than it's ever been, just because I know I only have so much time left. I'm not young, and I don't really think about the ending. To right now, I'm just more appreciative of the moments, the time, and what these mean for my career.
Fourth row on your left, Blake. Tyler.
Blake, your last World Series game, everybody remembers it, total dominance until they took you out. How long did it take you to process that whole night, and how often do you still think about it, and now that you're back here finally?
Yeah, I don't think about it really at all anymore. When it happened, I'd say probably for like a week, I was thinking about it, what could have been different, what I could have done, the ups and downs of just, feelings. But then it ultimately led to, if I would have done more early on in my career to gain his trust, it would have been a different outcome, I think. So learn from it, and ultimately it made me a better pitcher, just because I understand the game more than just myself, just the pieces, the parts, and how it all works. So, yeah, I mean, for about a week, the ups and downs of could have been a World Series champ, this, but there's still Game 7, and who knows if we win Game 6, and just so much in the air that, yeah, I finally just let it go.
And welcome back to Dodgers Dugout Live. Here we go. All right, yes. So that was Blake Snell talking about this Dodgers offense and going up against this Dodgers offense and going against this Blue Jays offense and kind of what we need to see from them. And the number one thing you need to know about that Blue Jays offense is the Blue Jays offense, they have been great. Like, they haven't been just great. They've been all-time great. They've been one of the best offenses that we've ever seen in the history of this sport. If you look at where they've been from a weighted runs created plus standpoint, in the postseason, the Blue Jays have a 143 weighted runs created plus. So they're 43% above league average offensively. Since the first wild card was introduced to the playoff format in 1995, there have been 290 postseason teams, and the 2025 Blue Jays have the highest weighted runs created plus of that group. So think of guys like Pete Alonso and Ketel Marte. Those are like 143 weighted runs created plus type of players. Imagine that throughout an entire lineup. That's kind of how this lineup feels for the Blue Jays. And another thing to consider, too, is a lot of teams that hit for power, and they hit for power at a high level, but they also do not strike out a ton, and they hit for contact. And a lot of questions were asked about this Blue Jays team heading into the postseason, and one of them was, will that offense translate into the postseason? And in the regular season, they had a 17.8% strikeout rate. That's already really good. The postseason, that 17.8% strikeout rate has dropped to 14.8%. Also, the isolated power has gone from 162. That's around league average. League average is 159. They were at 162 in the regular season. Their isolated power now is at 227. And just to give you an idea, isolated power is a really nice raw metric of how to determine slug and power, because it's a batting average minus slug, right? I mean, it's a really good way to really determine that. I mean, you look at different metrics and how they're calculated, what you can do to kind of understand just raw numbers, and isolated power does a really good job of doing that. And the power numbers are up, the strikeout numbers are down, they hit for contact. And one thing I worry about is Dodgers pitchers and the bravado. And because guys like Blake Snell and Yamamoto, you don't want to over-challenge a Vladimir Guerrero Jr. just because he's so good at pitches in the zone. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. has only struck out 3 times this entire postseason, 43 at-bats. Another thing, too, this team has hit 20 home runs as a group, and they have 6 guys that have hit multiple home runs, and they have 7 guys that have left the yard total. Springer has 4, Kirk has 3, Barger 2, Jimenez 2, Varsho 2, Clement 1. The Dodgers, 3 guys that have hit more than 1 home run, and that is Shohei Teo and Tommy Edman. Outside of that, you've got Max Muncy and you've got Freddy Freeman, but you're going to need to see some power numbers go up for sure. And that is definitely the run on that. So yeah, here we go. Let's see where you guys are at down below. Making sure you guys can hear. Yep, we are good to go. Sounds great. All right, let's go around the horn a little bit more. We'll talk some more keys to this series. And then we got my man Jeff Snyder coming in to talk some Dodger baseball. Here was Freddy Freeman today at Dodgers Media Day.
I don't know if I've really grasped the weight of it because we're so in it and just trying to win and not really thinking about history and all that kind of stuff. We're just trying to do our best to win right now. But I think when you do take a step back and realize that the opportunity that's here and presented, it's pretty cool. I mean, just to be in this spot. I mean, last week you're starting to get the word dynasty thrown out and things of that nature. And if that's being thrown out, that means the organization's doing a really, really good job. So just to be in this spot is extremely hard to do, but to win it and to potentially win it 2 times in a row, it's pretty cool. I usually tend to go to the plan and the approach of what I'm gonna do in that scenario. You don't think about the moment. You start thinking about, okay, what does this pitcher do? I start going into how I'm gonna attack that pitcher. It's not about thinking about, we're in the World Series. There's a lot more cameras on us. There's a lot more people watching this. If you're doing that, that means you're letting the moment get a little bit too big. And you just kind of bring it back down. You look at your scouting report. You go over your plan, your process, and you go in and attack it. And if you do that, this game's already hard enough to even without all the extra amount of pressure in the postseason. But if you can just stick to your routine and just stick to your plan and your process, it gives you a better chance. Most people don't see what Shohei's doing in between and underneath, and it is so hard to do. He's 2 different people. I don't know if there's words to really just to describe Shohei and what he does day in and day out. The in between the starts, while he's hitting. I was marveled at the fact that he was rehabbing Tommy John last year and doing 50-50, and then now I'm seeing him pitch and hit 50 more home runs. And now he's doing it on the big stage, pitching and hitting, and then the game he had last week, I just don't even comprehend.
There was Freddy Freeman. He can't comprehend. We got some comments here. What is up? We've got Nico Suave. Yeah, absolutely. We've got, the audio guy came back from his bathroom. What's up, Momentary? Delirium 9. Shohei's fix was simply to take batting practice on the field. Yeah, Shohei took batting practice today. You saw some of those live swings. And he also had a very classy remark to John Schneider. So earlier today, John Schneider said that he wants to get his hat back from Shohei Ohtani. Now, if you don't know the story, during the winter meetings, Shohei Ohtani and his agent, they went to Dunedin, Florida to check out the Toronto Blue Jays spring training facility. And it was this big, grand, roll out the red carpet event for Shohei. And Shohei comes out of the black SUV. They said it looked like he was the president. And they show him around this new fancy facility. They go inside the Blue Jays clubhouse, and they had everything laid out. The Shohei Ohtani Blue Jays jersey, the hat, the bag. And it came to as a surprise to the Blue Jays brass that Shohei said, hey, I'm keeping all this stuff. Shohei took the jersey, took the hat, took everything with him. And then as he was leaving, saying his goodbyes, thank you for the visit, had a great time, Shohei opens the door to the black SUV, and out comes Decoy. And Decoy was wearing the Blue Jays jacket that they wear, and he took that as well. And then today, Shohei Ohtani, he revealed where that hat is and if he still has it. Here was Shohei Ohtani. We'll talk some Shohei.
Yeah, I expect myself to be nervous, especially when I start. But that's, it's to be expected. It's going to be a tough lineup. They're really a complete team, both on the hitting and pitching side, so I expect a pretty good fight from their side. I really had a wonderful time getting to know them as an entire organization, and the impression that I got is like they were very top-class, awesome people. And so in that circumstance that we get to play against them, against a superb organization, is something I'm really looking forward to. We played against a lot of really good teams coming up to this World Series, but most importantly, I'm really confident with this current Dodger team. We've bonded really strongly with each other. And so I'm hoping that that will be expressed on the field. It's an unfortunate reality as a free agent that you get to really pick one team. And I'm sure as a player, you want to play with different kinds of teams, different circumstances, but the decision had to be made. But again, this organization has been superb. They have a lot of awesome people.
So he said it was a class organization. He said he still has the hat in his garage. No, David, this is not pre-recorded. This is live as I go every single day when I'm live that I do. Basically, Monday through Sunday, I go live. There's other shows that do pre-records. I'm going to have an interview here with Jeff Snyder, who is pre-recorded. But, yeah, I mean, let's be honest. No one comes close to going live as much as I do. I don't think that it's even anywhere close. I probably go live 90% or more than every other channel, if we're being completely honest. So, yeah, nice try. But let's read some more comments to the guys that like to hang out here. T-Rex, D-Mac, you seem to be having a lot of... no, we're good. We're good. Things are high-tech, and we have leveled up a lot. We've got the Decoy Jet NASHAT, D-Mac. Yeah, shout out to my friends over at Born and Raised for hooking up with this. Yeah, this is from Jack Geezy. John Schneider, Rob Schneider case. John Schneider absolutely was kidding, and it was just a tongue-in-cheek and a fun moment. Nothing serious there for sure. We've got D-Mac, what up? We got, did Schneider say it in a joking way? He did. We got, yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Nico Suave. We got, all right, we got, yeah, let's not speculate. Dave is a moron. Okay, how? I don't know. He's about to win his third World Series title. Hey, D-Mac, you really don't go on vacation or anything? I go on some vacations, if you call it that. I mean, back in the day I used to. I mean, I've been all throughout Europe and the Philippines and Japan. But honestly, when I'm there, I'm just kind of thinking about, man, that's when's the season going to start? But we'll do it live. That's from A.M. Sanchez. What's up, Orlando? What is FUJ's? D-Mac still? Yeah, appreciate you, Ray Barrios. All right, what up, Spooky Morales and Nufo and the rest of the gang? Oh, 99.99 David, Higher Tech. Appreciate that. BC, D-Mac takes a lot of vacations. Hey, you guys. That's from Don Kim. Damn, D-Mac, what up? What up, Beasters? Staycations. There we go. Adam Cohn, 999. Throw a like and comment. Appreciate it. Thanks, Adam Cohn. All you guys. You guys are awesome for sure. D-Mac, the Dodgers will win it at home. What is up? Claudia, D-Mac, right? What up, Claudia? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's no doubt about it. I got the Dodgers in 5 games, and if they win in 5 games, that means they win at home. I do want to talk about that for a quick second here. I don't think the Dodgers are getting enough credit nationally for the run they're on. For one, what's the narrative? The Dodgers are ruining baseball. Truth is, they're saving baseball. Look at the ratings. They're up across the board. Last year, they were through the roof. This year, they're good as well. You have an international World Series with a lot of really juicy subplots that are centered around Shohei Ohtani and the whole Toronto angle, and it's just a really good World Series. You have Vladimir Guerrero as a superstar, Shohei Ohtani, Freddy Freeman, Mookie Betts, tons of superstars in this series. But the Dodgers aren't getting credit for being a team that, one, had to play 2 extra games to get here. They're the only team that played in the wild card round that's still participating in the postseason. And also, you beat the teams with the 2 best records. The Philadelphia Phillies with 96 wins. You beat them in the NLDS, sent them to Cancun, and then you swept the team with the best record, the 97-win Brewers, in the NLCS. And then now you're taking on the 94-win Blue Jays for the best in the AL. So that's a tough test. I mean, the 1 seed, the 2 seed, and then the wild card round where you had to play 2 bonus games. And you look at the history of Major League Baseball. Teams that start on the road for 3 consecutive postseason series hasn't had the longest history of having that as an option, because you haven't had that as an option since 1995. That's 32 years. 32 years where teams have had the possibility of starting each road series on the road for the division round, the NLCS, and the World Series. And the Dodgers are just the 13th team in Major League Baseball history to go through that path. The 3rd team in the last 4 years. You had the 22 Phillies that did it, the 2023 Arizona Diamondbacks that did it. Those teams did not win the World Series. But then you also had the San Francisco Giants, who were in the wild card game in 2014, and they went on to do what they did in the even years. But the Giants won it, but they're just one of only 4 teams to win a championship after starting the division, LCS, and World Series all on the road. So you've got the 2003 Marlins that did it, the 2006 St. Louis Cardinals that did it, and the 2019 Washington Nationals that did it. So the Giants are one of those 4 teams. Could the Dodgers be the 5th team? So there's only been 4 teams that have started on the road for their entire run through the postseason and were able to cap it off with a title. And what makes things really interesting to me is that 3 of those 4 teams that won the World Series were wild card teams. The Cardinals in 2006. The Cardinals in 2006 were the only team that did as a division winner. And then the other 3 were the wild card teams. You had the Giants and then those 2019 Nationals and those 03 Marlins. So the Dodgers are just the 4th division winner that has been able to get to the World Series by doing this. And you had Cleveland 97, you had the Padres in 98, and the 2006 Cardinals. So it's a rare feat. And of the first 12 teams to start the last 3 rounds on the road, the 2019 Nationals, they're the only team that was able to win the first 2 games of the World Series on the road. Yes, that was an extremely weird series because the road team won all 7 games that series, but that is what the Dodgers are trying to do. And I've talked about it for months now. The similarities between the 2025 Dodgers and that 2019 Nationals team. You're starting series on the road, you're winning road games early, and then you're leaning on an elite starting rotation. Then it was Steven Strasburg, he was the best. You had Max Scherzer, you had Patrick Corbin, you had Anibal Sanchez. They accounted for 63% of the innings for the Nationals that year. They had posted a 3.63 ERA. This year, the Dodgers, their starters are accounting for almost 70%. 69.9% of the innings have been pitched by the starters this year, and they've combined for a 1.4 ERA, which is the 3rd lowest in the history of Major League Baseball through 10 games in the postseason. So not enough credit has been given to this Dodgers team for the run that they're on, and that is what's at stake for this team. You're looking at a team that, if they win, you are saying it's a dynasty. I saw some comments. Hey, D-Mac, 2 back-to-backs not a dynasty. Got news for you, buddy. In baseball, it is, because it's not easy to win in this sport. But here's Mookie Betts, who talked about the road to a championship and where the Dodgers are at. And you got to feel good about that, because you know what? I guarantee no one's talked about this today. I want to give congratulations to Mookie Betts. You know why? Mookie Betts, he won the 2025 Fielding Bible Award for shortstop. Congratulations to Mookie Betts for winning the 2025 Fielding Bible Award. He has done something that no one has ever done, and that is be a 6-time Gold Glove Award winning right fielder, go to shortstop, play that at above average level. The offense has picked up. He is now, I think, one of the best defensive players in the history of the sport, and he could be just the 2nd player ever to win Gold Gloves at multiple positions. Darren Erstad did it in the outfield and at first base. Mookie has a chance to do it at the 2nd most difficult defensive position. The only one that's harder would be the catcher spot. So credit to Mookie Betts for winning that 2025 Fielding Bible Award. Here is Mookie Betts today at World Series Media Day.
I think, we're always a pretty confident bunch. Nobody's arrogant here. Nobody's, too much. We all are confident in our abilities, confident in each other, and we love each other, and we know that that's all you really need in order to go win, and that's what we focus on every day.
You've been a part of a lot of these. What makes this one maybe a little bit more special, the fact that you have the opportunity to win back-to-back?
I think just that makes it more special. But, we know it's going to be really hard to do, but we know we just got to stay in the moments, be confident, love each other, and understand that they're going to throw a lot of punches, but we have to be able to take them and throw them back. That's exactly that. Anybody can do. Everybody's capable of doing the same thing. It's just if you want to, and our guys want to. And of course, I'm sure there's a whole money component to it, which I'm not here to debate all that. I just know that everybody has the ability to do this, and we chose to do it. We enjoy winning, as from the top to the bottom. Everybody loves winning, loves being successful, and that's what we're doing.
There was Mookie Betts. Love that. Anyone can do it, right? Hey, the Red Sox could have paid him. They didn't do it. So give credit to the Dodgers. But I appreciate all the super chats. We got Julian Fernandez, 499. Job's not finished. Thank you for all of your work at Dodgers Nation. Thank you so much. David, my man. Music to my ears, 99.99. Here's another donation. Higher tech. No refunds, YouTube. Hey, man. Yeah, I don't know what happened tonight, but appreciate that. Music to my ears means a lot, man. I'm halfway to a PS5 now. Yeah. No, of course, I'm only kidding. But you guys are awesome, and love you guys for being a part of this show. It means a lot. But now let's just focus on your questions. We got some more preview to do tomorrow. We've got my 10 keys to a series win. I've been working on that. And get some more interviews. So exciting stuff here. World Series week. And then, of course, right after the game, join me tomorrow for what it promises to be an electric post-game show. Do a giveaway. I got a DM from my friend who needed a shirt, and that shirt is going to be on its way mañana. So definitely love that. I love that. Don't sleep till we repeat. Jack Geezy. A $400 PS5? Damn, I don't know. How much are PS5s these days? I always walk past them at that Costco. And by the way, is it me or does Costco not have the same amount of samples as they used to? I mean, I just got a Costco card like 4 months ago. I was just hoping to just go there, buy like 2 things and just fill up on samples. By the way, I met a couple people at Costco today. Julian, I think his name was, and Cesar. I met a couple fans of the show, 4 or 5 people that were fans of the show. I met you guys at Costco in near Silver Lake. What up, D-Mac, LFG, Dodgers Nation? 4 more wins, baby. Ciao. All right. Dodgers in 4. Stop this nonsense. I like that. I'll take Dodgers in 4. I'll take Dodgers in 4. Yeah. Shohei Ohtani, he's coming to Toronto on a plane, and he brought his friends with him this time. And the Blue Jays are not going to be happy that he was on that plane this time because he's coming there to whip some Blue Jays ass. And, yeah, it's going to be exciting to see tomorrow in Toronto. All right, let's do some comments for the rest of the show, and then I'm going to go to an interview with my man, Jeff Snyder. I'm going to Costco tomorrow. What's up, mister? By the way, what is up with the Costco produce, like bananas and avocados and stuff? Because I bought some bananas at Costco. This is relevant because Kike Hernandez is the banana man. I bought some bananas at Costco, and I took them. They were green, and I took them home. They never turned yellow, and they went straight to brown. They just bypassed that yellow stage. I mean, at this point, I think I'm going to just start considering eating the produce on the way home from Costco because it goes bad so quickly. I mean, am I the only one that notices that? Don't worry. I get a lot of Coke Zero there. LOG Dodgers up, Charlene. I never eat those samples. Nufo, did D-Max Ohtani's NLCS MVP award in the clubhouse? Yes, I did a report on it. In fact, I was in that clubhouse, and they specifically told us not to post pictures of it. So I do have one, but I didn't want to I didn't want to post it because yeah, I mean you're not supposed to. But yeah, it was cool. I remember here's my my one here. It says, you can see it says team effort on it. Team effort on it. I cropped it out. See the little card there. And yeah, I mean, in that clubhouse, it was cool to see. And it's a testament to Shohei Ohtani and everything it means to him to be on this team surrounded by talent that can go out there and win a World Series, right? You have team support, and it's great to see that. So yeah, it really shows that this team, they don't care about individual accolades. The only award they care about is a World Series trophy, and they're absolutely focused on it on the highest level. I think this team feels hungrier this year than last year. I really do. I think that this year, win for Kersh, going to be a dynasty, lots of things into it. Take some more comments, though. I'm feeling you guys tonight, for sure. We've got, I see you at Costco. I will buy you a hot dog combo. Oh, wow. Way to splurge on me, Professor. Yeah, I feel like such a baller, man. I just buy like 10 of those hot dogs. It's like, hey, man, give them out 150. I love that, man. Costco pizza is okay. Wish it was a little saltier. We got D-Mac. I'm going to be going to the games later in the postseason for sure. Had an NFL commitment. Had to hit for sure. What do you think about Savage, Danny? I mean, some ups and downs. Strikeout pitcher. Interesting release point. A 36% strikeout rate, which is definitely high. And the Dodgers, not a lot of familiarity with him, but that wasn't a problem for the Mariners in game 2. As far as how his stuff plays, it's 4-seam slider splitter. It's not big velocity, but it's the release point that makes it interesting for sure. Doug, I love your Dodgers shirt. Hey, man, wait to see the shirt I'm wearing tomorrow with my interview with Puig. It's going to be fun. Love avocados. What's up, Lola? What's up, Claudia? They suck. Any update of Freeman's ticket giveaway? I do not know about that. LA celebs shop at Silver Lake Costco. Who'd I see in there? Who's that guy who's married to Selena Gomez? He's like a producer. I saw him with his mom last time. You bought plantains, homie. Is that the problem? No, man. I bought bananas, bro. What are you trying to talk? I know how a plantain is, okay? Costco samples fell off years ago. No, seriously. Then bananas be GMO. You got to go to a real grocery store, not Costco produce. No, I'm done. Trust me. I'm done with. I'm going there for Coke Zero and kind of like the sashimi plate. It's like $36. It's not bad. Certain paper towels, of course. I won't give my full Costco order, but I'm definitely not going for sure. New hat, no, appreciate that. Had the same issue. Dodgers in 5. Yeah, give me tomorrow. We'll wait for tomorrow because tomorrow Benny Blanco. There it is. That's what I saw. That was D-Mac. What color vest you wearing tomorrow? I told you I got the new vests. I'm picking them up. I got a black, I got a gray, I got a blue. They're fresh out of the box. Travis Matthew, shout out to my friends over there. But all right, guys, talk Dodger baseball tomorrow. We got my keys. We got Toronto versus LA. We've got some more interviews. Got Yasiel Puig in studio tomorrow. Very excited about that. Anything you wanted me to ask Yasiel Puig, leave it in the comments, and I will ask that. I'll say Puig is your friend segment, and it'll be questions from the fans. So let me know down below what questions you want me to ask Yasiel Puig. I'm excited about that one tomorrow. But thanks again, guys, for joining us here on Dodgers Dugout Live in the late night hours. I'm going to leave you with an interview. Yes, this will be pre-recorded. It was earlier in the day with my friend Jeff Snyder from All Dodgers. And we had a lot of fun talking about the series. And we appreciate you guys. Am I nervous? No, I'm not. Job not finished. Let's take care of business. Shohei Ohtani is going to win NLCS MVP and World Series MVP. Take them both, like I predicted, in spring training. Dodgers in 5. And I'm excited about tomorrow. One more sleep. We are 30 minutes away from game day. And now let's bring in my guy, Jeff Snyder. And I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. So thanks for rocking with us here on Dodgers Dugout Live. Follow me on X and Instagram at DMAC_LA. Hit the subscribe button, hit the notification, hit that like button for your Los Angeles Dodgers. And until next time, think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out. And welcome back to Dodgers Dugout Live. And here joining me today is one of the great Dodgers ball knowers in the game. This dude has forgotten more Dodger baseball than more people have ever known. You can find him on All Dodgers with my man, Mr. Clint Pasillas, formerly of Locked On Dodgers, Baseball Essentials. He's worked in baseball for a very, very long time. The great Jeff Snyder joins us here in the dugout. Jeff, first of all, how you living, my man, and how excited are you about this World Series?
Yeah, I'm excited. I mean, really, I feel like my job is done here. You talked me up. I think we could go home now, I just want to hear Doug say nice things about me. But, yeah, no, it's awesome, Dodgers being back in the World Series and where we expected them to be, even though maybe during the season there were times when we thought, wait, is this really the team we thought we were getting? But they're clicking at the right time, and things are looking good.
Absolutely. I mean, that's the number one thing is – you couldn't feel any better heading into this series with how the starting pitching has gone. A 1.4 ERA. It's the third lowest in the first 10 games of the postseason. All that great stuff. Discovering Roki Sasaki, turning him into this dominant, high-leverage reliever. Blake Tryon looks better. Alex Vesia, Anthony Banda. The offense, though, want to start with the offense. Actually, you know what? I just want to start. I know you've seen this everywhere, Jeff. Oh, the last team that has swept their way into the NLCS has lost that series. I mean, that doesn't give you any type of fear, does it?
Not even a little bit. We're talking 4 series in 35 years. And so it's meaningless. It is the definition of a random stat. People talk about random stats. It's one of the reasons I hate those, like the Google Cloud commercials where they're like, if you tap your bat twice, you're going to get it. It's like, that's what people who don't understand baseball think baseball stats are, just random things that have no actual meaning. Whereas things that actually mean something are things you look, there's no reason like that. It would be if you sweep your series, you're going to lose to a team that had to go 7 games. It's like, okay, I guess you could talk about the time off or whatever. We've seen that was a concern, but if anything, these Dodgers are prepared to not have that be an issue. That they are, they figured out the formula last year when they had 2 different layoffs and they still won the World Series. And so if there's any concern at all, they're going to figure it out. But yeah, that's just the definition of random noise.
That's a great way to describe it. I mean, this is just the 5th time since the ALCS round has become a best of 7 since 1985 that the team went on to sweep and went in there and they didn't win it. And they're trying to basically attach it to the whole rest versus rust debate. And the way I look at it, Jeff, is if there's going to be a part of your team that's going to be rusty, and if it is the bats, it's kind of nice for the Dodgers to have Blake Snell and Yoshinobu Yamamoto dominant starting pitching to start off that series. And I don't think the offense is necessarily going to be that rusty. Because guess what they didn't have in 1985, Jeff? You didn't have the traject machine, right? You didn't have a Dodgers organization that had Shohei Ohtani and this great group of guys that I think prepares themselves well. You don't have a ton of lefties that you're going to be seeing that neutralize this offense early against the Phillies. But I mean, what do you think is the biggest key for you and what gives you the most confidence thinking, okay, this 6-day layoff is not going to hurt the Dodgers early in this series?
Yeah, the fact is the bats have been kind of asleep. And so, if anything, they're going to use this time to figure it out, to wake up a little bit. But everything about this Dodgers team tells you this is a team that will benefit more from the time off than from just going straight to the next series where you're able to line up your rotation exactly how you want. The Dodgers can run out the exact same rotation that just swept the Brewers in the NLCS, the same rotation that dominated the Phillies in the NLDS. And it's absolutely a benefit to be able to go into this series knowing everything that we have prepared for. We can run out exactly the game plan. Everybody's healthy. Everybody is ready to play in the role that we plan them for. Obviously, the bullpen is a different question. Roki, nobody expected Roki to be the postseason closer, but that's working out. But even that, you've got the bullpen guys. Blake Trinan is almost as old as me. The dude is definitely benefiting from some time off. And the Dodgers have some guys like that. Everything about this point, and going back to the previous topic about those 4 times in the 37 years or whatever, you look at 1988. The Dodgers in 1988 are one of those examples of a team that had to go to 7 games in their championship series and ended up beating the team that swept their championship series, the A's. Well, back then they didn't have the big layoff, so the Dodgers played game 7 of the NLCS on October 12th that year. And they played game 1 of the World Series on October 15th. So there was only 2 days off. What we're looking at now, the Blue Jays have a long layoff too. And so even if there was some element of, you got rusty during the layoff, it applies to both teams. Just like last year, we had, close to a full week off with no baseball. And so if there's going to be rust, it's going to be on both sides. And so that evens out and we're back down to which team is the most talented team. And the fact is, if the Dodgers play their best, there's no way they lose this series. Because the Blue Jays are a very good team, but they are not as good as the Dodgers. And so this series is all about the Dodgers performing at their best. The Dodgers starting pitching continuing to dominate. I don't think they'll dominate quite like they did against the Brewers because the Blue Jays are a better hitting team than the Brewers, and it's hard to expect any team to only allow 1 run per game like the Dodgers have their last 5 games, but they don't need to be that dominant. When you look at the Blue Jays pitching, the Dodgers offense, if this starting pitching can just be your standard really good pitchers, hey, we went 7 innings and allowed 2 or 3 runs.
Absolutely. I mean, like to all your points, if you take Tyler Glasnow, the Dodgers' number 4 starter, their best starter after Ohtani, Snell, and Yamamoto, I mean, you can make the case he's their game 1 starter. And I think, too, just from a matchup standpoint, that's a bullpen with Louis Varland. It's been used in every single game except one. Hoffman's had some ups and downs. They've pitched a ton in that 7-game series against the Mariners, so that's to the Dodgers' advantage. But I think that you're absolutely right. I've seen a lot of people compare this Blue Jays team to the Brewers team just because they are a contact-oriented offense. The difference is the Blue Jays, they take more advantage of the contact that they do make. You see more slug. You see more hard hit balls. If the Dodgers do to the Blue Jays what they did to the Brewers and even the Phillies before that, then you could definitely make the case this is one of the greatest runs a starting staff has ever made throughout the postseason. So, yeah, I'm expecting some more runs scored from the Blue Jays. But I think the key to this series is you maintain some level of consistency with that starting rotation, even if you're not getting complete games from Yamamoto or Blake Snell facing the minimum or things like that. If you're just getting close to 6 with 2, 3 or less, you got to feel good about this series if you get the Dodgers offense that's going up against a pitching staff that's not throwing a ton of lefties at you. I mean, what do you think needs to happen to see this team score more than 3.5 runs per game? Because that's what they're averaging in the NLDS and the NLCS combined.
Yeah, I mean, really, I think the Phillies were a uniquely tough matchup for the Dodgers from a pitching standpoint. Christopher Sanchez is very, very good. Jesus Luzardo is very good. And they are also the kind of good that is really tough on Shohei Ohtani. I think Shohei Ohtani is going to be a big key here. Well, Ohtani and Muncy only started 1 game in the NLDS because of all the lefty starters for the Phillies. With the Blue Jays rolling out all these righties, I think Shohei Ohtani and Max Muncy are the big keys for the Dodgers. If they can take advantage of, like, Kevin Gausman's good. Trey Savage is good. They are good pitchers, but they are the kind of pitchers that Ohtani and Muncy should be able to hit against. And if they can do that, and throw on Freddy Freeman too, if those guys, the big lefties for the Dodgers, can step up, that's going to be the key, because this bullpen is going to be the weak point for the Dodgers. And the key to overcoming that weak point is for the offense and the starting pitching to say, it doesn't matter who's in our bullpen. You know, where you put up 7 runs and your starting pitching holds the other team to 2. Okay, I think we can trust the bullpen to hold a 5-run lead for 2 or 3 innings.
I totally agree. I think that not only were they tough lefties, but there were some weird lefties too, throwing under 38 degrees, and that angle really bothers Shohei Ohtani. If you look at his numbers against those types of guys, I mean, he's turned into like Michael Conforto against guys like that. So, I mean, I think that this offseason is a good challenge for him to try to continue to tinker with parts of his swing and his game to make sure that you can't neutralize him, that there's no holes against him. But I think that he's got to be feeling really good. It's got to be a weight lifted off his shoulder. Not only not facing lefties, we had that monster game in Game 4 of the NLCS, the greatest game of all time, essentially heading into this series. And I think it's going to be funny, Jeff. I'm going to laugh when they announce his name and the entire Rogers Center starts to boo him because of some erroneous reporting done by John Rossi and gentlemen who work for this company at one point. And Shohei Ohtani did nothing to deserve that. And if you remember, when the Dodgers went to Toronto, he got booed and he hit a bomb, right? And I'm hoping it's the same thing.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping to. That home run that he hit.
I want your thoughts on that storyline, though, Joe. Like not baseball. What are your thoughts on that storyline? Just the booing of Shohei because of he was a free agent. He didn't report it, right? His report was accurate. His report was that he was signed with the Dodgers.
Yeah, it's the nature of baseball. It's the nature of free agency. The fact is, he was considering the Blue Jays, and you know, we will never know how seriously he was considering the Blue Jays. I believe he wanted to come to the Dodgers all along, and you know, but that's what you do in free agency. You use teams to bid against each other. It's why every free agent is linked to the Dodgers, even if they're not coming to the Dodgers. Garrett Cole was always going to the Yankees, and he got the best contract he could from the Yankees by getting the Dodgers to bid. Ohtani did the same thing with the Blue Jays and the Giants or whoever else was involved. And it's understandable that their fans, if this was flipped, if it was, I don't know that Dodger fans wanted Garrett Cole that much, but if you look at, you look at Manny Machado, there's some of the reasons that fans hate him is because he went to the Padres instead of re-signing with the Dodgers, although Machado is a totally different story in a lot of ways, but there's a lot of different, I think every fan base would react the same way. If they were in the Blue Jays fan shoes with how the Ohtani free agency went, and it's just part of baseball. Part of being a fan is you boo people for stupid reasons. And whether that's they didn't sign with your team or they wear the wrong uniform now, or they used to, there's so many reasons that people boo players, and they're all dumb in the grand scheme of things, but they're also all fine. It's like, whatever. And like you said, Ohtani shut them up when he went to Toronto and he hit that laser home run. It was glorious. And so I would definitely love to see a repeat of that. I just want Ohtani getting on base. That's the thing, and the home runs will come, but if he can be patient, because they're not like Trey Savage is not going to throw him very many pitches in the strike zone. I think Ohtani could go up there in his first at bat, put the bat on his shoulder, and he would walk on 5 pitches. And, I don't know if that's what he'll do, but I don't think the 22-year-old rookie is going to be that aggressive going after Shohei Ohtani, first batter of the game. And so I hope that Ohtani can match that lack of aggressiveness and just take what's given to him.
Yeah, that's going to be the interesting chess match, whereas the Dodgers, there's really nowhere to hide from their lineup when all guys are hitting on all cylinders and putting together good at bats. Kike Hernandez can be at the bottom of the lineup. Hopefully, a guy like Andy Pages can have a better series, 3 for 35 in this postseason. But I think the attack plan against this Blue Jays offense, especially if Bo Bichette's going to play, and we don't know. It's a lot of time off. How will he hit? He was working at second base yesterday. We'll see what he can do. George Springer, we know the big monster home run that he hit in the ALCS Game 7. But then there's Vladimir Guerrero Jr., who you have to say from start to finish so far is having the best postseason, even better than anyone on the Dodgers. What is your attack plan on Vladimir Guerrero Jr.? I think for like a guy like Blake Snell, he's going to win by his pitches, right? Breaking ball off the plate. If he doesn't chase, take your base. But how do you attack Vladdy?
Yeah, the good thing about Vladdy is, unlike some guys, he's not a threat once he gets on the bases. And so you don't mind if you occasionally walk Vladdy and you get to the next side. You make him hit a good pitcher's pitch if he's going to. He's going to crush a mistake. And the thing about Vladdy is he can hit good pitches too. And so you definitely have to be careful with him. But, the key is don't let the other guys on base before him. So when he does hit a home run, it's a solo homer. You can deal with solo homers, and then you just kind of you pitch him carefully. He's going to get his hits. He's going to be good, but he's not invincible. And I haven't looked at Vladdy's splits. I don't know if you have it. I assume he's better against lefties, but I don't know that for sure. But Yamamoto has so many pitches. Snell has so many pitches. Like that changeup of Blake Snell's, it's weird. You don't see right or left-handed changeups nearly as often as right-handed changeups. And just because of the camera angles, you can't really appreciate it as much on TV. What you have to look at is how badly are these guys swinging and missing at it? Because you can't really see the movement as much as you can a right-hander's changeup. But you see that these guys can't lay off it and they can't hit it. And so it's a great weapon to neutralize a tough righty like Vlad Guerrero when you've got multiple pitches. And that's the thing that all 4 of these starters for the Dodgers have is they have 4, 5, 6, 7 pitches they can throw at you. It's really hard to game plan for any of these pitchers, let alone all of them.
Yeah, absolutely. You even see Glass now using the curveball for lefties, and you got Snell manipulating the speed on that changeup and just bearing it on the outer half. And yeah, he's been fantastic as far as the splits for Vladdy. 946 OPS against lefties, 6 home runs in 135 at bats, and 818 OPS versus righties. Of course, different story in the postseason, but I do think just having the knowledge and the information, I'm sure Blake Snell is going to be looking at that binder every time he gets into the dugout to try to kind of make some adjustments. Now, as far as the roster goes, Dave said yesterday there's a conversation about one of the roster spots. Position player side, it feels like they feel good about Justin Dean as a pinch runner, a late game outfield substitution, Ha-Seong Kim as a guy that you can have as a pinch runner, not really a defensive role for him. Alex Conforto is kind of interesting to me because Conforto's been off the roster the entire postseason. You got all the righties. You basically have Kike and left the entire time. I mean, do you mess with the position player side at all heading into the World Series, Jeff?
I would guess if they mess with the position player side, it would be to add another pitcher, because right now they've only carried 11 pitchers out of the 13 they're allowed to. So they've been carrying extra position players, and you look at it like Alex Call hasn't played a lot. He's done well when he's played, but he hasn't played a lot. Ha-Seong Kim has played, very, very little. Obviously, he scored the winning run in the Ryan Kerkering game, but that's kind of his role, is just a pinch runner. Justin Dean is just pinch running and late inning defensive replacement. It's weird that Justin Dean, I think, has one of the safest spots on this roster because Teoscar Hernandez is not a good outfielder. And so Justin Dean coming into center field at the end of every single game is going to be the play. But I could see them leaving either Kim or Call off the roster to add, maybe Will Klein, depending on how he's looking. If they want to go with another right-handed reliever, I could see that happening. You mentioned Conforto. It's hard to see them pulling Conforto onto this roster. Yeah. He just never did anything in the regular season to say, and he's not going to start. Kike Hernandez is starting every game. And so you look at what value does he bring off the bench? Well, Conforto is not a defensive replacement. He's not a pinch runner, and he's done nothing to prove that he would be useful as a pinch hitter. And so, and who are you going to, if you're going to pinch hit him, it would be for, it's going to be somebody who you chose to start over him. So Conforto doesn't make any sense. If I had to guess, I would guess that it's Alex Call who gets the boot, just because they are using all right-handed starters and they don't have a ton of lefties in their bullpen. And even there, it's like, well, you're not going to pinch hit for Muncy or Freeman or Ohtani. And so even when they do bring in a lefty, Alex Call really isn't getting that spot, especially when you got Miguel Rojas on the bench, who has been a good pinch hitter this year. So all in all, I would guess they drop Alex Call and add a relief pitcher. I would guess Will Klein, outside shot at Tanner Scott. I think very outside shot, but I don't have any idea what Will Klein's current situation is as far as health and performance and all that.
Yeah, Will Klein was definitely in the conversation for the NLCS roster, and then Edgardo Henriquez did not make the most of his opportunity in the wild card round. Dave did not like his performance, and when Dave is kind of a little edgy about you early, that kind of is very telling about kind of the role you're going to get later if you're going to get another opportunity. Will Klein kind of has been that name, especially at the end of the season, where you look at the stuff plus, you look at the way the stuff was trending. It's like, okay, this is a guy I would feel pretty okay about if it came down to we got to go deeper into the bullpen. Remember, if things just play out, Will Klein will be on the roster. We won't see him, right? I mean, that's the ideal situation. You got Sheehan and Blake trying it, and you got Rogi Sasaki ahead of him and things like that. Other option, too, is if you would take off a Justin Robleski and not have a Robleski and a Tanner Scott, and then you throw on a Will Klein or an Edgardo Henriquez. But I agree. The thing about Justin Robleski is you can use him if you need to, kind of bring case of emergency. If, let's say, they get to a starter early and give you multiple innings, he can pitch leverage moments. I mean, the stuff has played up. The guy can hit 99, 100, and he's pitched pretty well. But then there's Clayton Kershaw can do something similar too. So, I mean, I agree with you. I think they're going to throw in another righty. I think Will Klein is going to be the guy at the end of the day. That's been my prediction as well. Just I don't trust Edgardo Henriquez in that spot that much, just because he kind of has bruised our Gratterall syndrome, but with not the results, right? We're not getting as many missed bats and get as much punch out.
Yeah, exactly. Like he's baby bazooka in a lot of ways. He needs to get more swing and miss. I love Edgardo. I think the future is bright for him, but I think right now he doesn't bring enough sureness to the mound to make it worth putting him on the roster. When you talk about maybe dropping Robleski off, honestly, like if you look at this Blue Jays lineup, there's a lot of right-handed hitters, which means any lefty who comes in to get, to face a left-handed spot, you're going to have to face some righties too. And so you look at which lefties for the Dodgers have performed worse against righties. And unfortunately, the answer is Anthony Bonda. Anthony Bonda has been the worst of all the lefty relievers against right-handed hitters. And that may be a factor. I mean, there's still a situation where if you have, Addison Barger coming up and there's 2 outs, and so you go to Anthony Bonda hoping he can get that third out, but knowing that if he doesn't get him, then he's got to face righties after that. I don't think they'll drop Bonda from the roster, but I think it's something they're thinking about because any lefties they have are going to have to face some righty hitters, but Robleski also hasn't been significantly better than Bonda against righties. He's the second worst on the team. And then Tanner Scott's the third worst. Those are the three guys who have allowed right-handed hitters to be above average against them this year. And so, it's Robleski does give you the option of some length, which, you would hope with this Blue Jays pitching staff, you might need a long reliever once in a while. It's like, hey, we're up by 7. Let's go ahead and let's sit Blake Snell down and let Emmet Sheehan finish us off, or Justin Robleski or whatever. But also might as well go for the juggler. It's the last. I don't know why I can never pronounce jugular. I'm like George Bush trying to say nuclear. The juggler. But it's the last series of the season. You got 4 months off after this, and so you know what, Blake Snell, go throw 9 innings tomorrow if you can, and don't worry about the long relief. Just get her done. It's going to be interesting. It for a team that's been as good as this Dodgers team has been this postseason. There's been a lot of interesting questions about the roster each series, where you would expect it to be, okay, well, that roster worked great. Let's just carry it over. But, the opponents change, the situations change. And like Andrew Friedman said, maybe, I think it was on your video that I was watching after the NLCS from the clubhouse, he said, even at the trade deadline, they were thinking we're already in a situation where we're going to be leaving some really good pitchers off the postseason roster. And so that's why they didn't go heavier after relief pitching, is already like, well, Edgardo Enriquez, who throws 1,000,000 miles an hour, is sitting at home. Michael Kopech and Kirby Yates, veterans who, Michael Kopech was a big part of the Dodgers winning last year, and he's not on this roster and not going to be on this roster. Tanner Scott, not going to be on the roster. So there's already very talented pitchers, and we're talking about, might they drop a talented pitcher like Anthony Bonda? That's the situation they're in. That, it's definitely a good situation to be in, where you have more good pitchers than spots available, even though all of those good pitchers have some question marks this year.
Yeah, and that's the position they put themselves in, as far as paying guys like Blake Snell $182 million, Yamamoto $326 million, getting Glass now and Shohei Ohtani. They kind of saved themselves from the headache of having to really get extremely granular on the matchups, but they're still going to do that and look at the margins. You mentioned Anthony Bonda. I mean, it's the last thing you want to see is Bonda being thrusted into a situation where he does have to match up against multiple lefties. Mount multiple righties. He gives 6 home runs to righties this year, and you just don't want to be in that situation with this lineup that they have that can really explode on you any given moment. And that's definitely a concern for sure. I think if Anthony Bonda's pitching leverage, this series is a little closer than we had hoped. But hey, to me, I want to say Dodgers in 5, just because I want them to clinch at Dodger Stadium. But this is the series I really feel like has the potential to go 6, just because the Blue Jays have a potent offense that 1 game, 2 game could get to one of these starters. And you mentioned the fact that every series has had some of these roster questions, that you look at a team that took the Phillies down 4 games and swept the NLCS, you would say, well, there shouldn't be that many questions for a team that dominant. But the truth is, if you get to one of these guys and it opens up that bullpen, things change very quickly for this team if you're not dominating, everything's going as planned.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's why I say the starting pitching and the offense need to be the answer for the question marks in the bullpen. It's it's going to be interesting because the Dodgers are going to be favored in every game. The Dodgers are the better team. They have the better starting pitching. They have, the gap in the starting pitching is smaller than the gap in the lineup, or bigger than the gap in the lineup. I mean, I think the lineups are closer, but the Dodgers have a better lineup too. So the Dodgers are going to be favored in every game. And so it's like when you try to think, how many games is this series going to go? Okay, well, this could be a sweep. Dodgers are going to be favored in every game, and so theoretically they should win every game. But that's not really how it works in baseball. The favored team doesn't win nearly as often as they do in, any other. Because in football, you've got the same quarterback throwing to the same receivers every single game, and so there's not that variation from game to game. In basketball, you got the same 5 guys on the court starting every game. There's not that variation. In baseball, you got a different starting pitcher every day. You're going against this different starting pitcher every day. That is, the most important part of the game is different every single game. And so you don't have that same reliability. And so, yeah, somebody could have a bad game. We've seen one bad game from Yamamoto already this postseason. We saw not a bad game from Ohtani, a bad inning from Ohtani in his first start. But going, I guess Dodgers in 5. Because I do think the Dodgers are the better team, and I would like to see them win at home. It doesn't matter that much to me since I'll probably be watching from my couch anyway. But I think Dodgers in 5 makes sense. No matter how I look at it, it's hard to picture the Blue Jays winning 4 games in this series.
That's the thing too. The depth of a 7-game series, you feel like things are all lined up for the Dodgers to win. Couple of quick ones before you get out of here. Jeff's got all kinds of radio interviews got to do. Jeff's in demand. What keeps you up at night, though, about this Blue Jays team? What's the biggest concern in your mind that this team could present?
I mean, they have very good hitters. And I wouldn't say it keeps me up at night because I have never been so confident about a Dodgers starting pitching staff in the postseason as I am with this team, because the Dodgers have never, obviously when Clayton Kershaw and Zach Greinke were going, they were probably better. The two of them were better in 2015 than anybody on this current Dodgers team. But from after Kershaw and Greinke, it was who was it? Brett Anderson. And I think I was scheduled to pitch game 4. They just didn't have the depth that this team has. And so the fact that this Dodgers starting pitching has this depth, so there will not be a single game for the Blue Jays where they can say, oh, we can feast on this guy and get our bats going or whatever, or even just steal a game. They're not going to have that. And so they will probably win a game, and it will probably be because Vlad Guerrero and George Springer and Addison Barger have a big game or whatever. But I guess if something was going to keep me up at night, it would be that the bullpen ends up getting overexposed because the bullpen is the weak spot of this team. And then there will always be, as long as we are Dodger fans and it's October, we're going to worry about the bats going cold.
That's it. And until we see it happen with Shohei Ohtani and Freddy Freeman on the same team, I'm going to maintain the confidence there. Okay, give me an X Factor player for the Dodgers.
X Factor, that's hard. I mean, they're loaded with stars. You can't really go to the bullpen for an X Factor because we know who's going to be coming out of there, and they've done it. I guess I guess I'd go Max Muncy, and I don't know if that's a cheating answer because Muncy has been a big star for this team for years. But it's not like we have anybody. I think Miguel Rojas is probably the only guy on the team who can qualify as a potential X Factor, and I just don't think he's going to get enough playing time to actually be that X Factor. Max Muncy has been somewhere between a non-factor and a minor factor for most of this postseason. He's done fine. He had the big home run against Peralta. He should have had a 2-run double or something in game 1 of that Brewers series. We don't need to talk about that play, But Max Muncy, I think, is going to have himself a very, very good series. And then, Shohei Ohtani, if he decides to show up, he's always the X Factor.
Absolutely. Muncy is the sleeper pick for World Series MVP. Hitting the ball hard, righties. I like that. Okay, Jeff, who gets the final out of the World Series? Who gets the final? I mean, who knows? It's a walk-off. I'll take that too. To win it. But who gets the final out?
Clayton Edward Kershaw.
There we go. I knew it was coming.
Game 5, Dodgers go up 8-1, and they say, hey, Kersh, 9th inning is yours. Last pitch of your career, you're going to strike out Addison Barger on a curveball. Looking, Will Smith is going to come out, jump into your arms, hand you the ball, and you're going to ride off into the sunset.
Wow. I know. I want to see him hit Springer right in the ribs. I mean, just right in the ribs. No, he's too classy. Too classy.
He's too classy. He doesn't throw hard enough to do damage. And
you never know. He might get adrenaline pump, get 93.
When you hit the guy on the other team, he gets to go to first base. I want them to strike out George Springer every time he comes to the plate, and that is the revenge. You don't throw at a dude. You strike him out. You shut him down. You make him sad.
Absolutely. Make him cry because you're celebrating on that field this time, not like last time with that fake proposal, that fake World Series. Okay, last question, Jeff. This is what I've been most looking forward to asking you. Drake or Kendrick Lamar?
I am mildly familiar with both. I am every bit of the 48-year-old white man that I look like. I actually like me some K-Dot. I enjoy... I like the way he talks. I surprised my son a couple weeks ago by referring to Kendrick Lamar as K-Dot. He was like, who is this man? And, what have you done with my father? But yeah, I mean, I would guess if somebody played a Drake song for me, I might be able to guess it was Drake. I have no idea. Kendrick Lamar, I've heard him enough between Dodger stuff and deliberately choosing to listen to. I really enjoyed the Super Bowl halftime show. His pants were something else. I like Kendrick Lamar. I don't know that I would say I listen to prime country when I'm in my car. I'm 80s and 90s country music guy, but I like Kendrick Lamar.
I love it. Yeah. You got to tell your son the prediction for score for the game 1 is 6-7. Apparently that's what the kids are doing these days. I don't even understand it. My
14-year-old has told me I am allowed to do any of the young people slang I want to pretend to be cool, except for 6'7". And I think it's because he's 14 years old and he's 6'4". And so I think so he's already like a foot taller than most of his friends. So I think a lot of them say that he's 6'7", and so he hears it so much that it's just, I don't understand 6'7". I don't like it. I enjoy pretending to be cool with some of the slang, but I absolutely am not down with the 6'7".
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, you could say, Frank Howard, he was 6'7". I mean, okay. Props. Okay, we got your World Series prediction, Dodgers at 5. I think we'll leave with this one. I don't think I got your World Series MVP though, Jeff. What's your World Series MVP pick?
It's Max Muncy. I think it's unless Shohei Ohtani decides he wants it. Like Shohei Ohtani is always going to be the favorite for every MVP in every season or series that he plays in, and it's absolutely easy to see Shohei Ohtani, hitting 4 home runs in the 5 games and throwing 6 innings of 1-run ball or whatever, and just saying, sorry guys, you can't do what I can do. But I think Max Muncy is going to have himself a huge series, and I think he's going to take home the MVP award.
I like that pick. He just became the all-time leader in Dodgers postseason home runs with 14. To have that World Series MVP, also going into that contract situation. Hey, you want to give me $10 million? Are you going to extend me a little bit? I think that'd be great for Muncy as well. I picked Ohtani for both series, but I feel like it's not fun. Like, you don't get a lot of credit for it. It's like picking Pablo Sanchez to be the best player in backyard baseball. It's like, I kind of want to start thinking out of the box, right? Maybe Justin Dean, I don't know, but they want to stick with my pick. But Jeff, thank you so much. A Dodgers ball knower supreme. Go follow him on X and Instagram at SnyDog. Listen to him and Clint Pasillas, my man, on the All Dodgers Network on YouTube. Follow him on Twitter. Live reactions throughout the game. Sure be doing his stuff. And listen to him on radio stations all around the world talking Dodger baseball as well. Jeff, we'll check in with you after the World Series, celebrating another World Series and talking some free agency, my man.
Hey, always good to see you, Dougie.
And when the upcoming winter gives way to spring, rest assured, once again, it will be time for Dodger baseball.